Mawuena Egbeta. The bulletin starts right now.
Moral decay, growth in discipline. That is the verdict of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, which has condemned the avoidable deaths of students in high schools. NAT says character molding has been lost in schools, giving rise to growth in discipline. The association is demanding an urgent stakeholder meeting to discuss the worrying trend.
The child will be committed to national cause. The child will respect our national anthem. The child will respect the pledge. The child will respect our constitution and all the rules that our fathers have left behind for us. But where we are now is that today we are doing the knowledge aspect, we are doing the skills aspect, but we have lost the character, the conscience, and the value system aspect. We have lost it entirely.
There's loss of discipline in schools.
We have lost it entirely.
Moral decay.
We have lost it entirely. And the confidence level of the students now can best be described using the level of galamsey in the country now. If you want to describe the behavior of students now in our schools, the best example that we can give, we can only use the behavior of those engaging in galamsey. Because how on earth can somebody go and stand in the middle of whether River Pra and all that is digging gold? Is this in River Pra is the spirit? Is it not the water? And the police people have told us that they protect life and property. I don't know whether the River Pra, Densu, and they are part of the property they are to protect.
So Thomas, what's the way forward? What is your call for action here?
What we are saying here is that to the extent that we have lost the affective domain, which has to do with the character, conscience, and the value system, which has to do with the training of our people, we need to organize a stakeholder meeting. And this must be done now. Time is not on our side. Time is not on our side.
We can now bring in Christian Yale, who's been speaking to Nat. He's joining us via Zoom. Christian, good afternoon to you. I want to find out from you what's given, what brought up this conversation? What's given this, position from Nat?
All right, so Keminni, you know that a number of incidents like that have happened in the recent past. Over the last 1 year, there are a lot of incidents of disturbances or misunderstandings between students, out of which a number of deaths have been recorded. What is worrying indeed is the fact that for most of these cases, the students lose their lives because authorities of the various schools seem not to be worried or, concerned about the conditions of these students, which actually lead to the deaths that have been recorded. Not as an authority when it comes to education in this country, it's worried about the fact that when you look at the past, during our time, during your time, for instance, when, there were few punishments here and there, such as punishing you for being a talkative in class, punishing you for not ironing your uniform and all of that. That is concerned that all of these, minor punishments that molding the character of students in schools have been, gradually faded out of the system, giving rise to some of these concerns that we are talking about today. And so NAT says that the issue of the O'Reilly students, which happened yesterday or the past days, it's not an exceptional, it's not an isolated case. There have been recurrence. And so what we do going forward, NAT wants stakeholders like the PTAs, the Parent Teacher Association, the Ghana Education Service, the Ministry of Education, and all who matter when it comes to education to, come together, discuss this, reach a consensus, and look at the way forward.
We also understand that in your conversation with Nat, they blamed the PTA for the growth in discipline that they see in the schools today. Talk to us about that.
Yes, Nat mentioned, for instance, that looking at the new, orders or the new rules that are governing teaching and learning, parents are not really involved, as it were, where there used to be periodic parent-teacher association meetings with school authorities to discuss issues concerning students and what have you. This time around, we don't see so much of that happening. It appears as though the PTA as an association is non-functional or does not bite when it comes to issues pertaining to students. And Nat, cites this, for instance, as one of the reasons that we are seeing a rise in discipline in schools. For instance, a teacher can no longer go to a school premise, question a teacher over why they mishandled or manhandled a student and what have you. But above all of this, it's also the issue of corporal punishment, for instance, where Nat, alludes to the fact that in a way, corporal punishment helps, to discipline school children. These days, they can't actually call for a reintroduction of corporal punishment, for instance, because it goes beyond that. When you look at education, we have what we call the affective domain, the psychomotor, and then the cognitive domain. Nat makes the point that teachers are doing their part when it comes to developing the cognitive, the psychomotor aspect of students. However, when it comes to the affective domain of students, talking about character, talking about, discipline and all of that, they have lost touch of all of this because of some of these issues. Kems.
I want to bring back the issue of the O'Reilly Senior High School student who's now deceased. Did Nat speak directly to that issue? Do we see them play any role going forward to, to bring some finality to the matter?
Exactly. Nat is commiserating with the family. Nat has expressed its deepest condolences to the family of the deceased student and is hoping that going forward better. When you talk about issues like this, money cannot compensate enough. Words are not enough. Words are ineffable in trying to console the family. But Nat is of the surest view that going forward there wouldn't be a recurrence of some of these students because we have already lost a soul. But what is important right now for Nat is going forward, what do we do to tackle some of these worrying incidents in our school, which they describe as a gradual moral decay, which is very concerning. Nat is even worried about the kind of future leaders that Ghana is raising, for instance. Keminni.
Here, thank you so much, Christian. Christian Yale is our reporter who's been on this beat.
Let's speak to Ehogbe Arnold Kojo Divine. He's the national president of the Social Workers Association of Ghana. Still on the subject matter, he's joined us via the phone lines for a quick chat. Ms. Ehogbe, many thanks. Do you share the concerns of Nat about general indiscipline in schools and the fact that the situation witnessed at O'Reilly could be attributed to one of these?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, TV3, so much for the wonderful work that you are doing. In fact, TV3 is one media station that Ghanaians love watching. And with this topic, I hope that it will go very far and you learn from it. In fact, before I continue, I would say towards condolences to the bereaved family. It's rather unfortunate that Ghana has been reduced to that level. This is not the first time that we are hearing of a case like this. You can recall that of the Katua and some other schools.
Right.
And leading to this is so worrisome. Why should a country and children taking knives, taking scissors, taking guns, and going to that extent is something unimaginable. So going forward, we have realized that the upbringing from the home is a factor. The child might learn that violence from the parents. Yes, in one way or the other. I'm not saying that exactly that is the issue. But when investigation goes on, the findings will let us know. Now, the peers and the environment in which the child was brought up, or that young adult was brought up, they might be the causal agents. Now, what I know and heard is that they were talking about your father is richer than my father. This when children get to know all these things.
And so for you,
get this information?
Right, and for you, this largely stems from the training parents are given to the awards from infancy up until the stage where they are handed over to these boarding institutions.
Yeah, that is a factor. And the broken family system can also be a factor. And the peers also can be a factor. And
right.
Looking at the children, they were talking about you, your father, being richer than my father. So what can children reason like that? And where do they get this information? So society is getting down low. And it calls for all of us to wake up. Now, the core authorities were there. And all these things were happening. Why is it happening? Not that everybody feels a life is lost.
I'll hold you right there, Mr. Egbeta, and I'll return to you shortly, but we're going to the court right now where we understand that the prime suspect in the stabbing of the final year general art student at the O'Reilly Senior High School has been remanded for 2 weeks by the La District Court. The police have charged him with murder. My colleague Joseph Armstrong Gold is there for us. Let's just find out a bit more from him, and then I'll come to you, Mr. Egbeta. Armstrong, could you summarize briefly for us the points from today's court session and the judge's decision regarding the suspect's custody?
Yeah, Mawuena, so not much took place in court today. The young man was brought in and immediately was remanded 2 weeks, and is to reappear on the 19th of this month. He was charged with murder, and then regarded that it's also 18 years. That's what they have on the docket. And as it stands now, that's what it is. So immediately the police took him. And currently, I've left the court premises and I'm at the Manette police station where the young man is being kept.
And what do we know about this particular suspect? You mentioned he's 18 years old. What else? It does appear the connection to Armstrong may have been disrupted. Armstrong, I was asking what more we know about this suspect.
So we are told that he does not even have a father nor a mother. The mother died when he was only 3 years of age, and his father is nowhere to be found. And the caretaker who took care of him is currently here at the police station with other family members. And that this boy in question, this is the first time they've seen him involved in any acts like this. And also, he wasn't the main person the deceased was fighting with. He happens to be a friend to the one who was fighting with, but the deceased allegedly slapped him, and out of provocation, he also retaliated by stabbing, but he wasn't even part of the fight from the start. This happened, and now is behind bars, and the family members are asking that, well, how would this happen? But we don't have anybody to come in to speak to them already.
Right then, Armstrong. We'll leave it here for now. That's my colleague, Armstrong Gold Alogbe. Let's return to Mr. Egbeta, who's the president of the Social Works Association. So, Armstrong has just been providing a bit more details about the individual. From what he tells us, lost his mom without a dad and is currently in the custody, has been in the custody of a caretaker until this point. Does this lend credence, perhaps, to your argument that it has to do with the training, and in his case, he may not have received the best of trainings?
Yes, that is the fact. And there is something wrong with the family. And sociologists and social workers put it under broken family. Then, the environment also can be a causal agent.
Right.
And the training from the parents. So, putting all this together, you have to know that if children are left to their fate in Ghana, then we don't have future. And you can attest to the fact that if children are grow up in that manner, and they are put in a leadership position.
Let's talk solutions briefly. Right, let's talk solutions in terms of what it is that we can begin to do to change a lot of what Nat is complaining about, and you're also lending credence to. What can be done from here on in to begin to change the narrative and the conversation?
Yes, it is not the first time, this is not the second time, and then this is not the third time. I can cite examples, but all the previous ones, we've not had any deterrent action taken by the leaders. That has given the edge to the other ones to go on with this action. Look, my child is in secondary school, this hypothetical situation, and let this situation happen. How will I feel as a parent? So I am putting it on the doorstep of the authority, beginning from the teachers, that they have to be vigilant, and the trust from the parents can be won.
Right, then, I appreciate that you could speak to us. That's Ehogba Divine. He is the president of the Social Works Association of Ghana, speaking to us this afternoon.
Now, Office of the President has refuted allegations it is encroaching a piece of land belonging to the Ghana International School here in Accra. In a release signed by the Director of Communications, Eugene Ahin, the Presidency categorically denied any involvement and interest in the land in question. More on this, we're joined by our presidential correspondent, Nana Kweku Ejia. Nana, good afternoon to you. What more is contained in the statement?
So good afternoon, Keminni. So clearly, the release is also a rejoinder from the like you said, it was signed by the Director of Communications, that the attention of the office has been drawn to the office acting through the head of the VVIP unit has been involved in a dispute over a piece of land belonging to the Ghana International School, like you stated earlier. So it says they wish categorically to say that they are never involved in anything like that. A call has been put on hold.
Well, it would appear we lost our presidential correspondent over the telephone, but you recall that the Ghana International School had made remarks about developers encroaching their lands in and around the school, excuse me. Today we're hearing that the Office of the President is denying those allegations, saying that they have absolutely no interest in the piece of land the school is referring to.
A reminder, this is your election command center. We're on the campaign trail this afternoon in the Tema Enclave, where the Vice President and NPP flag bearer is continuing his tour of the Greater Accra region. He is leaving no stone unturned in turning the fortunes of the NPP in the Greater Accra region following what was a defeat for the governing party, uncharacteristic really in terms of voting patterns in the Greater Accra region being a swing region. The Vice President is leading the onslaught in having the fortunes of his party be turned around during the 2024 general elections. My colleague Noble Crosby Annan is with the Vice President. Let's find out exactly which part or which constituency of Tema he is at this particular point in time. Crosby, where are you? What's the Vice President been saying?
Right, Eric. So at the moment, I am at the TDC Clubhouse in Tema Community 9 in the Tema Central constituency. This is where the Vice President, if you like, held a stakeholder engagement with some traditional leaders, some opinion leaders in the various communities in and around Tema Community 9 and the Tema Central constituency. Now, this meeting also had some worker unions present to ask questions of the Vice President and flag bearer of the NPP on what he intends to do in relation to some pertinent issues these unions have, that is, if the Vice President and the flag bearer of the party is able to win the December 7 general elections. He's engaged with them here. And at the moment, the team is on the way to other areas within the Tema area. He's expected to visit the Tema West constituency as well as the Tema East constituency, hold some meet and greet sessions, as well as have some more community engagement with various stakeholders in the various communities area.
And what message has he been given to the people of Tema?
Well, essentially, he's been trumpeting the achievements of the NPP government, just like he's done on all the tours or campaign visits he has done in the various constituencies. Here, for instance, he's insisting that the NPP government has performed better than the NDC in all sectors of the economy. And he says that he has the data to back it. And in fact, he's adding that that is the reason why the flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, is, if you like, escaping a debate opportunity with him. Because the NDC's flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, does not have any data, hence he will not be able to face off with him in any debate whatsoever. The concerns of the various unions, for instance, the nurses, they've been asking about health policy for them, they're asking for car waivers, and they're raising also concerns about the exodus of nurses, as well as some concerns about patient schemes. Now, for the Freight Forwarders Association, who are also here, and some car dealers association represented here, they're also concerned about taxes. And that was their main issue. What the Vice President, the flag bearer of the party, will do to reduce taxes for them in the event that he wins the election, so that their lives could be bearable. Right?
Let's take a listen to the Vice President and exactly what he's been saying.
It's our tax system. The tax system, and I know different people, the Chamber of Commerce, and freight forwarders, we've all touched on it. It is something that has been worrying me too for a long time. If you look at our tax system, it has become very complicated, and businesses don't understand the tax system. And so you have so many disputes between many businesses and individuals with GRA, because they may have one interpretation of the system from your understanding of the system.
That's the NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, Noble Crosbyan, and is with him. We'll get a lot more details from him. But from the governing New Patriotic Party, let's switch to the opposition, where the flag bearer of the NDC as well, John Mahama, is in the Techiman South constituency, that constituency to be specific, having toured part of the Bono regions and the likes. Let's touch base with my colleague Komla Kluche as well, find out exactly what Mr. Mahama is up to. Komla, many thanks. Talk to us about what the flag bearer of the NDC on the spot has been telling the people of Techiman South.
Well, it's been a crisscrossing from a lot of constituencies. The target is for John Mahama to do all the 11 constituencies within the Bono East region. Mind you, the NDC holds 10 out of the 11 constituencies, and it's only the 2 West constituencies that's been held by the NPP. As of late last night, John Mahama was campaigning somewhere in the Akebu-Boamantin constituency, and he's been charging the people also on the issue of them being moved onto the national grid. He's been giving them assurances that yes, of course, the government has relented on social interventions. They've actually not even done very much when it comes to social interventions to the people, but that he would be giving them a lot more, especially the provision of basic amenities like water, electricity, and the others. But today, the focus is on Techiman South. Techiman South, you would recall, in the 2020 election, it became very, very topical because of that electoral violence. Just about 2 or 3 days ago, the Techiman South, the Wenty High Court had ruled that 6 of the victims who were involved in the violence should be compensated with some 270,000 Ghana cedis, which is some 45,000 cedis. to be given to them, 275,000 in total, making it 45,000 fees. But we've been speaking to one of the victims, Tajudeen Al-Hassan, who got killed alongside another within the constituency.
Right.
And it's been a very sad moment for the family. We have been able to touch base with the mother, Hawa Musa, who is a pure NDC, because Tajudeen himself was an NDC member. And we met her here at the first spot where John Mahama is having this engagement for Keminni South today. Let's listen to Hawa Musa on what her reaction to the compensation that's been ordered by the court to be paid to them is.
And I'm so regional chairman. Any minute be my original, any minute, ma'am, woman, I want to buy 10 beer, woman, friend, woman, Babetina, chair to me for. I'm a no other whom some general come. Nasanko come who dear and come in the Yanko. Intimidating Yanko, Edward was. And you know, son, Obian, but you don't have a kitchen. Obian, the Chifia, Mamma, Cassini, a Sambian home can, Sassico, Mudimami, 77 Puriasa. Women in Gafara. Me Paucha says, Sanka Qualano Tiasia, the Oyamami, Kayapusa. Wajam in Qualane, Obian, whatever the Samsung Qualafono, Womudiana, Womundidi. Into Sassica, with the I say. I could talk about Chroma, and Bepa Machira. But me about Chroma, Bepa Machira. As I say, who's a woman is a can way, who yes, we say. Sassica Sanka Mebanotiasia, and Cobaya de Chelsea Hamani, any million winning now. And to say, yes, Sassica, Mentishi, and yet now will be Sanya Sama, Mentishi, Metia some. Song come patch, me coming through Mochi. Me Brian coming through Nichi. The Chamasafina, Michiamo, Mr. Sabato. Mr. Mamu, what's your Yahweh? Your mother to me at Chelsea. So you told me, your mother to me at Mujuma, I get your chips, Amani. As I said, what will you tell me? You know, my.
That's the mother of one of the victims. Let's touch base finally again with Komla Kluche. So, Komla, where next for John Mahama after Keminni South?
Well, he's spending a lot of time in the Keminni South constituency, also because of this incident, or this particular issue, the political issue in the Keminni South constituency. Mind you, he is yet to be able to react to this, but the reaction is come from the people who say this would be a decider for them in choosing who represents them in when it comes to the legislature. But after this, John Mahama is heading to is going to the Congress South constituency where he wants to be spending time. He would be engaging the people in some export he is expected to do before the close of today, giving galvanizing support for the NDC and the policies that he's going to bring to the next year.
Right then, Komla, I appreciate as always the details. Komla Kluche is with the John Mahama campaign team. This is your Election Command Center. And like always, we say, we are your Election Command Center. We're going for our very first break. When we return, a bit more on elections, this time narrowing the focus on key battlegrounds in the lead up to the 2024 elections. It was then the Bono Hafu region, now split into 3 regions. We'll tell you why it is an important area to look at ahead of December 7. This is News Central. Please stay with us.
You know, 1 bucket of flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Season. Enjoy the best football moments with your guy, GoTV. Get your GoTV today to enjoy all the best football live on Supersport. GoTV.
Luckiest. Star 712#. Luckiest everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get that packing so you have to Wallah. Hey, wait.
You can put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. Hey, go bill radio. You star 712#. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712#. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or then who else?
Oh.
Let's choose buy tickets for adults.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now, you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
So
hey, there, tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. T&Cs apply.
This September, we are running for culture, we are running for tradition, we are running for endurance, peace, tolerance, and yes, the Oxygen City is running. It's the annual Asogli Marathon. Get ready for an exciting, fun, and grueling race from Anyirawasi to the Ola Park, who is hosting a mega marathon as part of activities marking the Asogli Yam Festival. Professionals, amateurs, keep fit clubs, religious groups, schools, get ready for the race of your life. Date Saturday 28 September. Time 5 a.m. There are exciting prizes available to be won. The overall winner takes home 8,000 Ghana cedis and a ticket to participate in the Berlin Marathon. Registration is 100 Ghana cedis. Register and let's get running. Call 0201 069 114. Asogli Marathon is sponsored by Vena Purified Water, Rush Energy, Media Partners, Joy Prime, Wezo TV, and Ho FM.
The news never stops. If it's not breaking, developing, the news lends itself to significant analysis, broad context through explainers, and the features that give stories more life. That's what we offer on Weekend Central. News, features, analysis, the full package. Weekend Central, Saturdays and Sundays at 12 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
On By the Numbers today, we put into perspective yet another key battle region in the lead up to the December general elections. The Bono region, until the 2020 elections, was yet another of Ghana's very few swing regions, handing out presidential victories to the eventual winner. But having been split along the voting lines of the two major parties, could the pendulum swing again? Or has the splitting of the region put a spanner in the works? Let's look at this by the numbers, really. Mawuena is going to help us do that. So what's happening? What are we looking at? What are the numbers saying?
Right, so what we're looking at right now is the Brown Hafu region when it was in its old state before 2020 when the regions were split. This is what it looked like, and we called it the Bronga Hafu, even though I like to call it the Bono Hafu region for right pronunciation's sake. And so this is what it looked like, and in terms of the just demographics in relation to the region, population of some 3.1 million as at 2024.
Right.
On age distribution, we're seeing a very youthful population, a median age of 20.9 years, and like it feeds into the general conversations of how youthful our voting population is and how the youth will be the deciders as to how all of it goes down come December 7, 2024. In terms of the economy, agrarian, and also mining, and has been a swing region from 96 up until 2016, 2020, the region was split. We're going to try and provide a bit more details for you in relation to what the region looks like in its totality for you this afternoon. What the voting numbers have looked like since 2016 up until 1996, where I mentioned that it's been a swing region. And so this is what we're looking at in terms of the voting population and what the numbers have looked like since 1996. It started off with the NDC.
And this is when it was Bronga
Hafu region. Okay. This is when it was the Bronga Hafu region. The NDC here, we see it for ourselves, 61.7%, won by a landslide in 96, the NPP hovering around 36%. That changed in 2000. The first round, the NPP won quite convincingly, because rarely do we see 60 percentage points if it's not a stronghold really for any party. And so it was 50.6%, roughly comfortable. And in the runoff, in that presidential elections in 2000, that comfortable lead was extended by some 9.7% percentage points difference in 2000, that runoff. And we saw it drop slightly from 59.7% to 52% in the 2004 presidential elections, with the NDC improving their numbers as well. From 40.4%, they improved that number to 46.1%, giving credence to the fact that the NPP's fortunes dwindled just a bit. But in 2000, which was another crucial elections which saw the changeover of government, the NPP led in the first round, 50.6%. And so you see what is like a gradual decline of some sort from the runoff of 2000 up until 2008. It looked like a gradual decline. And then we saw 50.6% for the NPP in the first round. In the runoff, the NDC improved upon their 47% and rose to 51.3%, with that downward trajectory for the NPP continuing into the 48.7 tile regions. It continued with a dwindle in 2012 as well to 47.3%, and the NDC improving slightly by some 0.2%. What they gained in the runoff of 2008. But that's changed as well again in 2016. 1 million vote difference, but the NPP could not replicate the numbers we saw here in that 2000 runoff. They improved upon the 47.3% in 2012 and pushed themselves to 54.1%, with the NDC dropping from the 51% we saw them have in 2012 to 44.6%. If you look at it, it's looking more like the NPP has won a lot more in terms of how it's all been like, but it's been a swing region up until 2016, before 2020, where the regions were split.
So, I mean, what has happened since the split? What is it looking like now? Because we know they were split into 3 regions. So we have the Ahafu region, we have the Bono region, and then also the Bono East region. And I mean, as we have seen the trend now, it would appear that when it was the Bono Ahafu region, when all 3 were together, if you won the BA, if you had a BA win, you most likely had a national win as well. But from 2018, they were split. So in the 2020 elections, what did it look like?
So in the 2020 elections, when the regions were split, we saw what many are making the argument to be the real voting intentions and the lines within the Bono Ahafo region as we had it clearly drawn out now. 3 regions, like you've mentioned, Ahafo, Bono East, and then the Bono regions, they became the new Bronga Ahafo, and then their true voting intentions were made bare. In 2020, the NPP won the Ahafo region by some under 10% difference, 55.1% for the NPP in the Ahafo region, and then for the NDC, 44.2%. Now, in the Bono East region, that's where we saw the NDC winning by some 54.7% and 44.3% as against the NPP. If you look at the percentage difference, that's around 10% in the Bono East region. But in the Bono region is where really we saw the NPP's dominance with over 18 percentage points difference, winning by 58.2%, and the NDC doing just 40.4%. And so that's what it looked like, and we'll look at what the map...
So even in the splits, we see that the NPP, as far as the 2020 election is concerned, they won 2 out of 3 of the split regions, Ahafo region and Bono region. The NDC, on the other hand, carried the Bono East region.
Yeah.
It would sound like 2024 will be a control test as to what could be the pattern with the split regions. You have one more slide to show us.
Absolutely. One more slide to show to you. And you've been looking at the numbers like we're seeing right now, and you realize that in the Bono East and the Bono regions, which we've been seeing, we've seen the percentage difference over 10%, but in the Ahafo region, that was under 10%. And so what will be the lookout for both parties come December 2024? The voting population, or the total valid votes cast, as we saw from the 3 regions, saw Ahafo with the least. 263,000 valid votes cast in the 2020 election. That's the least amount of votes up for grabs amongst the 3 regions which have been split. If we look at the Bono East region, their number appreciates a bit more, 419,000 plus voters. And then the Bono region as well, 502,000 voters. In terms of what is at stake, 1.36 million projected, because we've seen registrations, and so there's been some projections done by the research desk here at TV3 that we could be seeing or looking at these numbers as valid votes potentially come December 2024. And that puts the votes up for grabs in the Bronga Ahafo region as we had it, but now split into the 3 regions, 1.36 million projected valid votes, which will be up for grabs.
Indeed.
But of attention for the 2 parties, the NDC will have to focus perhaps on the Bono East region. They won by over 10 percentage difference, but in the Ahafo region, they will seek to attempt to claw back on the under 10 percentage points difference we saw earlier in one of the slides, which the NPP won by. The Bono East region outrightly is doing it for the NPP. That's why we have their flag put there quite succinctly. And so work has to be done for the major parties, where they'll be seeking to either, for the NPP, improve their numbers here, for the NDC, seek to halve the deficit possibly, or square it, and then make gains here, while the NPP will be seeking to improve this, and then try to make gains here as well, Keminni.
Absolutely, Eddie. I mean, from what I see, if we have a repeat of the voting patterns of 2020, then the Bono area again will go into the hands of the NPP. The NDC appears to have a lot of work to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, if they get Bono East and they get Ahafo,
then it will look like they would have done good enough work. But
absolutely.
9 percentage points difference, looks like there's still quite a lot of work to be done in that regard, Keminni.
Absolutely. We can now bring you Regional Hub. Now, in a move to safeguard farmers and ensure the integrity of agricultural inputs, the Environmental Protection Agency is collaborating with CropLife Ghana and the Ghana Police to cleanse the industry of adulterated and unapproved agrochemicals and fertilizers. The initiative includes market surveillance and post-registration monitoring to ensure that only EPA-approved products are available to farmers. We can now cross over to Tamale and engage Christopher Amwako, our correspondent there on this development. Chris, tell us more about this exercise and how the retailers are responding to it.
Yes, so Keminni, basically the exercise is as it were to ensure that adulterated agrochemical equipment or agrochemicals are ward out of the market. So the EPA officials, as well as the other officials, including the Ghana Police Service, were at vantage points and various shops in the Greater Tamale Metropolis, as it were, to move around to inspect and ensure that these chemicals in the shops are, first of all, licensed, 2, not expired, 3, are safe for farmers to use. And I must say that most of the retail shops were found wanting because they had some agrochemicals that were not licensed, that were not safe for farmers, and they were confiscated. After the exercise, the EPA and the AgroLife authorities spoke to us. Let's take a listen to what they've been saying.
In a soup exercise together with EPA, and the essence of this is to sanitize the agrochemical industry. We've realized that as an industry, CropLife, most of our challenges has been the issues of people selling adulterated and unapproved chemicals in the markets. Some of them do not even have the licensing. So we've taken it as an issue as CropLife to partner with EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and then with the Ghana Police to go around the markets and then do surveillance to see what is happening in the markets with regards to the agrochemicals and then the fertilizers that input dealers are selling, whether they are the right ones or there are issues with them. We've done a lot of seizures and we've realized that there are some products that are not even registered with the EPA, and unsuspecting farmers are buying it. You know, we have a challenge. Yesterday it just rained in Tamale and a lot of farmers are ready to go to the field. So you can imagine, after waiting for these rains, you come to buy your products and then they are not registered ones, and you go and apply them and it's going to give.
Very well, Christopher, thank you so much. We'll leave it here for now. But we'll stay up north where the Savannah Regional Minister Saeed Muazu Jibril has issued a warning to all municipal and district chief executives in the region not to use the equipment under the district's road improvement program, DRIP, for their personal interests. According to him, the equipment are not money-making machines, and that any DCE in that act will be made to face the consequences. The minister was addressing journalists in Damango after handing over equipment to the assemblies. My colleague Nadra Mohammed was at the event and joins us now with more updates on the matter. Nadra, tell us about the road infrastructure challenges in the region first.
Infrastructure is a big challenge here in the Savannah region, especially talking about communities that are far from the capital here, Damango. Especially this period that the rains are setting in, most of these roads are going to be cut off. Now, some roads were given on contract, but as we speak right now, some of these contract has come to standstill. But with the arrival of this equipment, they believe that it goes a long way to help them construct this road, especially this rainy season. Now, we've been speaking to the minister. Let's take a listen to what he has to say.
Let's finish a meeting with the parliamentary candidates, the district chief executives, on the usage of these machines. They are strictly to be used for the purposes that they are meant for. And any other time, they are not revenue generation machines for individuals or for the district assemblies. For now, they are supposed to be used for Department of Feeder Roads and in some cases, even highways.
Nadra Mohammed, thank you so much for joining us. She's Savannah region correspondent.
To the Cape Coast, or the Central Region, rather, and the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei II is expected to make a historic visit to Cape Coast as part of the 60th anniversary of the Fetu Afashe and the 25th anniversary of Osaberima Kwesi II Ugwaman Hene. The visit will also have the University of Cape Coast confer an honorary degree on the Asantehene. That's it for Regional Hub. Now, Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Samuel Dubik Mahama, says the new biometric metering system recently introduced by ECG to replace obsolete meters has helped the company reduce its losses by over 26%. In a yet-to-be-aired interview with my colleague Keminni Amanor on Hot Issues, Samuel Dubik Mahama also debunked assertions that the new system has been designed to fleece ordinary power consumers.
Meters do expire. Meters do get obsolete. When we started this prepaid metering agenda in 2003, there should have been a backup plan for replacement of meters every 10 years to 15 years. So it has caught up with us. Right now, we do not have a choice, but some meters just have to, they've exhausted their shelf life. For example, you do hear some people complaining that their meters have gone into the negative. They've been buying credits, but all of a sudden now they owe an amount of 30 or 40,000.
And it's because the meter has expired.
The meter is not working well. It's gone obsolete.
Is it only here in Ghana? Because I've not heard anywhere before that meters expire.
It depends on where you've lived before.
Okay.
Because I have experienced it before, and we also have service level agreements with the metering companies, which made them, we were aware. And even there's an ally with the PURC that mandates the ECG to replace meters after every 10 years.
Samuel Dubik Mahama, listen to that full interview with my colleague Keminni Amanor, Sunday at 2 p.m. on Hot Issues. Promises to be interesting. He will take us on to our very second break for the afternoon. When we return, we're live in the Ashanti regional capital of Kumasi, where the anticipation is building up thick and fast ahead of the Black Stars game against Angola at 4 p.m. today. We're live there, like I mentioned, for details.
Hello! I bring you all exciting news from Franco Trading Enterprise. For the quickest and efficient way of keeping your clothes and garments clean, Franco Trading Enterprise has brought in a new washing machine for you and your home. This washing machine comes in sizes. We have the smaller size and the bigger size. This washing machine is easy to operate. It saves time and energy. It extends the life of your clothes, and the most exciting part of it all is that it has low power consumption. So for bulk purchasing and retailing, visit any of our branches nationwide or on our website at www.francotrading.com. You can call the numbers on the screen for any assistance. Franco Trading Enterprise, the home of quality washing.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Ha! Chesena mi ankasa me period na say problem is wom. Ntina ma wo ho idea ma me. Papa chesena nya asem ketewa. Na me kwan point no, mo hwe me modam no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro. Mo meduro me fire no. Ene ma won kra mienu. Foforo kwa na me kwan mu a eba.
And everything yourself.
Me ma me no adwojo eda ho a wontumi nante. And then ko end point o mama nura and then why dia wotimi asori anante.
That's end point for you.
Hello.
Hey, Oshisho what che? Okay.
A free bra would the end point what dance. I'm a choir no. Me Johnson sama na nkoye and person my emre nyina and na magina sabema. Na me be fear for there. The one dey nyina jaresa.
You heard everything. I have secret. M point is my secret. M point homeopathic clinic. I'm free.
This
is the show that brings finality to all the critical issues. It is the stage where all the facts are checked, issues thoroughly interrogated, opinions shaped, and debates settled. But over here, we do more than just talk. We resolve problems. We hold those in power accountable. We address all the key happenings in society, from politics to health to education to everything you deem important. And we will center the voice of the ordinary Ghanaian. This is the show that sets the agenda.
Agenda premiering on Monday 9th September at 3 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Anticipation is building as Ghana is prepared to begin its 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying campaign against Angola at the Babaya Stadium in Kumasi. Let's have a quick chat on the back of that. Michael Otieje is a sports journalist and general manager sports here at Media General. He's joining us with a bit more on this. Good afternoon to you, Michael. How crucial is this game to Ghana's chances of qualifying?
Well, it will be a very crucial game. I think in many ways this is a consolidation period for Tuadu and the team. Remember, Otto came against the backdrop of uncertainty. Then there were those two friendlies against Nigeria and Uganda where there was no win. Then it's given everything that surrounded his appointment. I think in his mind, in the minds of the Ghana Football Association, and they were all at the stadium yesterday, you know, everybody looking very happy, a lot of smiling faces and all, including that of Otto. I think for most of them, this particular game, especially before the home crowd, especially before a crowd that has always given them absolutely everything, will be to remind everybody again that what happened in those two games in June against Mali, against the Central Republic, was not, to quote a very tired cliche, was not a flash in the pan. That this is a team that is building towards something significant, a team that is getting better with time, a team where the players are getting to know each other. You have to look at the fact that Otto.
Michael, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for talking to us. It's time now for Ghana Remembers.
Today on Ghana Remembers, we continue with our focus on some memorable campaign statements. In the build-up to the 2016 elections, the president was accused of using unlawful means to silence critical voices. The NPP promised to rescue Ghana as it maintained the nation is being mismanaged. Then spokesperson for the NPP flag bearer, Nana Akufo-Addo, Mustafa Abdul Hamid, did not mince words.
Naumia has said it all. Leadership is about choices. Mahama is doing one chief, one land cruiser, one chief, one land cruiser. The cost of the land cruiser is can build a dam in the village. So he chooses to use that money for only one person. And we say when we come, the monies that are lying wherever he's getting it to buy land cruiser per chief, we will use that money and build a dam in the village. And with that dam, the people, the whole village will get to do their agricultural activities over 12 months. Then they will get money, including the chief, who will then get money and buy his own land cruiser. Are you following me? So that he becomes a full human being. For me, giving land cruisers to our chiefs is demeaning. It's an insult to the chiefs. We want chiefs who have their own capacity, who can work on their own and earn an income and buy their cars, so that our chiefs can look at bad governments and bad presidents and tell them the truth. Why, you think that if a president gives a chief a land cruiser and the president is running the country, that chief has the audacity to tell the president the truth? Exactly. So that is what President Mahama is doing. The opinion leaders, the big people in our country who can speak truth to power, who can tell him the truth, he bribes them with land cruisers. We will not bribe them. We will give it, we will put it in the village so that they can tell us the truth if we go wrong. That's how to run a country. My father used to tell me that, look, my son, if you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. But there is hope, inshallah. God is not asleep.
Mission of a rescue. More than 7 years on, the question remains, has Ghana been rescued? That's it for Ghana Remembers.
remember so clearly.
Yeah.
Today he's the CEO or MD for National Petroleum Authority.
Yes, NPA to be specific. And the big question is whether or not that rescue mission has happened.
He's gone awfully quiet, so I'd like to hear from him whether the rescue mission.
Maybe we should have him on Hot Issues.
I think so. If he would have us, engage him.
The team will be happy to hear from him again.
Indeed, indeed.
Right. We have to run out of the studios now. I am Mawuena Egbeta.
And I am Keminni Amanor. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.